Hi everybody, Ollie here, aka Secret Inverse here, another episode of Magic Duels. So for today's, or this week's Brewing deck, we're going to be playing around with blue-black zombies. So, having faced these a couple of times, I was like, I really want to try some zombies out, and having played with them myself, I'm really enjoying them. Not really played with a zombies deck in a while. Can't remember the last time I actually played with like a really kind of heavily zombie deck. I still feel as though it's either missing some cards, either cards that were cut from the final Magic Duels Shadow over Innistrad release. I'm thinking of the Yogscast series, Shadow of Israfel. My god, it's the same acronym, so you know, forgive me, I used to watch it quite heavily before they, you know, cancelled it. But moving on. Yeah, so I don't know whether or not there's like some cards missing which give like you know how the werewolves have the Howl Pack Resurgence card, which basically gives a universal buff to all wolves and werewolves. I almost feel like this zombie deck, or the zombie cards, could do with a similar card themselves, but it does find itself. I mean, you can generate a crap ton of zombie tokens with this deck, so it's still very, very powerful, don't get me wrong, but it would just be nice if there was some kind of universal buff. I think there used to be a card like that. It was like a what's the word I'm looking for? Oh my god, my brain's gone. It was yeah, it was like a card which basically did give a +1/+1 and death touch to all zombie and skeleton creatures. I think they could do with bringing that back. I'll have to look that up. I might put it up on screen if I find it, but yeah, let's take a quick look at the deck and then go play some games. So start off with, we've got Shambling Ghoul, nice powerful 2/3 2-mana creature. It does come in tapped, but it's not necessarily the end of the world. Also got, so we've got 3 copies of that. We've also got 3 copies of Rancid Rats, which is a 2-mana 1/1 which has Skulk, so it can't be blocked by creatures of greater power, which is quite nice for pushing through damage. And it also has Death Touch as well for kind of using it as a nice like a little bit of removal. Then got 2 copies of Ghoulcaller's Apprentice, so this is essentially a double body. Either you pay 2 mana for a 2/2 creature, when it dies you can then bring it back for 4 mana as a 2/2 zombie. Also, if this is put in the graveyard through either myself or people forcing me to discard cards, you can also then just use the 4 mana ability to essentially bring back that zombie creature. So it's just quite nice, almost like a reanimator spell, which is quite cool. Compelling Deterrence, I like this card. It's a bounce card for 2 mana instant. So you bounce a card back to an owner's, or no, it doesn't even have to be a creature. It's a non-land permanent, so you can do planeswalkers, enchantment, artifacts, whatever. You can bounce them back, and then also if you've got a zombie on the field at the same time, you force that player to discard a card. So you can actually use it essentially as a removal. If the opposing player's hand is empty, you bounce it back. They then have to discard that card which you've just bounced back, which is quite nice. Few copies of Reave Soul just to help deal with early game aggro from an opponent, so just destroy a target creature with power 3 or less. Stitched Mangler, a 3-mana 2/3, so similar in power to our, what's the one I'm looking for, our Shambling Ghoul. It's a blue creature and it enters the battlefield tapped similar to our zombie previously, but it does also tap down another creature on our opponent's side which doesn't untap during that controller's next untapped step, so a nice tempo card really. Then got Liliana. You can't really have a zombie deck without Liliana. So if a non-creature token dies, you get to transform her into her Planeswalker form. We all know what she does by now. And then you also get that 2/2 black zombie creature token on the battlefield as well. Coming to one of the lords of the zombie deck, the Diregraf Colossus, so a zombie giant. So it enters the battlefield with +1/+1 counter on it for each zombie card in your graveyard. So if you can play this kind of later on in the game when you've lost a few of your zombies or some of them have been dumped into the graveyard for any reason, you basically get to buff it up. But the best bit about this card is that whenever you play a zombie spell, you get to put a zombie creature token onto the battlefield tapped as well, which is absolutely amazing. This card is very powerful for just 3 mana. We've got Fleshbag Marauder. Again, couldn't really include a zombie deck without Fleshbag Marauder, so it's a zombie warrior, power 3/1, and then you also get to force me and your opponent to sacrifice a creature, but it's potentially useful for triggering things like Liliana. And you can usually, you've got maybe 1 or 2 zombie creature tokens which you can use as a sacrifice as well, which is usually quite nice. A couple of copies of Nantuko Husk. It is a zombie insect, so you can use it to sacrifice zombie tokens which you've generated to then pump it up and push through additional damage. We've got Crow of Dark Things, so it's a zombie bird, so it's got flying. When it comes into the battlefield, you basically put 2 cards into the graveyard, and when it dies, you put 2 cards in the graveyard. It's not necessarily a bad thing because it can potentially put zombies, which can pump up a Diregraf Colossus later on, put things such as Ghoulcaller's Accomplice into the graveyard. So, you know, it's not too bad. You know, dumping cards into the graveyard isn't necessarily the end of the world. We've then got Forgotten Creation, so it's a 4-mana 3/3 with Skulk, so basically it can't be blocked by anything with a power greater than 3. At the beginning of your upkeep, you can discard all your cards in your hand. If you do so, you can draw that many cards, which is quite nice, so that can be useful for triggering some of the madness costs we've got, such as Gisa's Blessing and From Under the Floorboards, which is pretty cool. We've then got Drunau Trawler, which is a 4-mana 1/1. Puts a 2/2 black zombie creature token onto the battlefield, but it's good thing about this card is the 3-mana ability to give any zombie death touch until end of turn, which is quite nice. Got Kalitas, Traitor of Ghet. This wasn't in the deck originally because I'd completely missed it, but basically it's a vampire, so not actually a zombie. Bit different, but it's a 3/4 4-mana with lifelink. Basically, whenever a creature, non-token creature, an opponent controls dies, we get a 2/2 black zombie creature token onto the battlefield, so more zombie token generation. Plus, we can also sacrifice another vampire or zombie, so just a zombie in this case, and put 2 +1/+1 counters on Kalitas, Traitor of Ghet. So it's a very, very powerful one of our lords, basically one of our zombie lords. So we can use it to sacrifice creatures, generate more tokens, all that jazz. Gisa's Blessing, nice 4-mana spell which puts 2/2 black zombie creature tokens onto the battlefield, or we can pay its madness cost. Like I said, that madness really only synergizes up with Forgotten Creation. Got Cruel Revival, so a nice late game removal spell, just 2 copies of this for 5 mana, so we can destroy target non-zombie creature. It can't be regenerated, so things like what's the one I'm looking for? It's like it's the Ghoul, which is like the 2-mana green creature which has regeneration, but basically they can't be regenerated. And we can also return a zombie card from our graveyard to our hand. So potentially late game, we can destroy a big creature of our opponents and then bring back, say, like Diregraf Colossus late game with plenty of zombie spells in our graveyard and dump it down and make it a very big creature. So it's quite a nice card in that regards. And then finally, to finish off, we've got From Under the Floorboards. So for 5 mana, we get 3 2/2 black zombie creatures, plus we gain 3 life, or if we pay its madness cost for X amount of mana, we basically get to put X amount of number of zombies and gain X life. So it's a very nice spell. Even without its madness cost, it's a good spell on its own. So we get 6 power on the board for any 5 mana and the life gain, which is also pretty sweet. I've just realised what I'm probably going to do. I'm going to just rebalance the mana very slightly. I'm just going to put very slightly more black mana in, just as we've got a lot more black spells. I mean, I often find that you do need blue mana quite a lot of the time anyway. We do have some very key blue spells, so it's always nice to find that blue mana, but I'm just rebalancing it very slightly to favour the black, as we do have a lot more black spells than blue, but the blue spells that we do have can be very, very powerful. So, such as the Compelling Deterrence, the Stitched Mangler, and also the Drunau Trawler. So yeah, we're just going to have 7 islands, 9 swamps, and then each of the 2 of each of the double the blue-black mana. So that's the deck. Let's go play a couple of games. Okay guys, so for game number 1, we're playing the rank 14 Matabi. I think that's Matabi. I'll double check in a moment. So what are we starting off with? This is a very good opening hand. So we've got the Diregraf Colossus, and we've also got the Stitched Mangler. So we're playing Matatabi. That's what I'm looking for. Start with an island, just so we're disguising the fact that we have black in our hand. So yeah, I don't know whether or not on turn 3 to either play Diregraf Colossus or Stitched Mangler yet. We'll see how it goes though. Do it under the floorboards as well, potentially for later on in the game. Okay, we've got blue-black across the field ourselves, so this could be a mirror matchup. Very nice. We found a 4th mana, so we only really need 1 more mana to basically play every single card in the deck, so that's quite nice. Yeah, it's tempting to either go for Ooh, we've got some white splashed in, so I don't know what we're playing now. Yeah, it's do we like start the token generation early? And I think that is probably the case now that we found the Fleshbag, so we can start generating tokens. So basically with the Fleshbag Marauder we can play this. It will generate a token from the Diregraf Colossus, which we can then sacrifice and keep the Fleshbag Marauder on the battlefield, providing he didn't have some kind of removal here. Please don't make me regret playing out my Diregraf Colossus now, although like I said, we do have Cruel Revival for later on to bring it back. So he's obviously decided not to use a removal spell on it. Okay, I think we'll play out the Submerged Boneyard here. So oopsie-daisy. I don't know what to do here. We've got 5 mana now, so I don't actually really mind playing out Stitched Mangler here. I mean, I could potentially Fleshbag Marauder it and use its ability later on, so I'm going to play it out. Is he going to counter? Is this what this is? So Diregraf Colossus will activate anyway. So yeah, that is... Okay, he's just playing out Telling Time, so it looks like he's just digging here. That's fine. So this is going to generate two zombies for us, which is quite nice. So we've got the 5 mana we need, so even if we were to cancel that, wouldn't be the end of the world, we can always bring it back. So we've got 6 power on the board now, which is pretty sweet. And we've only got more power to come from things like Under the Floorboards. Okay, he's got Languish. Cruel Revival is definitely going to be a good play here at some point, and then to bring back Diregraf Colossus later on. Ooh, very nice. We actually managed to find Drunau Corpse Trawler. So do I play that or Under the Floorboards? I'm going to play out Drunau Corpse Trawler now, just because it's I'd rather save Under the Floorboards for the possibility of paying its madness cost. I don't know. We might play out next turn, but it's just slightly nicer to play out the one that we can dish out Death Touch if we want to. So we've got Cruel Revival, so we know that we can bring back Diregraf Colossus later on. Plus, if this one dies to anything else, we basically will be pumping up the Diregraf Colossus further. See what he does. So the only thing this doesn't really help against would be like Ulamog, but apart from that, and Gaia's Revenge is like that's like the only two it's like the only two creatures which we're really afraid of with Cruel Revival in hand. So just waiting for Mr. Matatabi to do something here. Okay, we've got Obnixilis, so he's going to come down. Is he going to +1 or -3? He's going to +1. Okay. So we're probably going to try and beat him down over the next couple of turns. Play out the Sunken Hollow. So we'll probably swing with these 3 at Obnixilis, bring him down. I think I'm going to play out Under the Floorboards. I know we need the power on the board. If he's got another Languish, then bugger. But basically, he's played out 1. We get the 3 life. Yeah, if he's got another Languish, well, you know, what can we do? He's got 2 Languishes in hand. That's annoying. So he's drawn himself another card. He's obviously looking for Languish, didn't find it, so Obnixilis is now dead. We're going to hold back the Drunau Corpse Trawler, I think. So we'll put 2 your way and the rest at his face. There we go. Luckily there's no such thing as an instant sweeper. I'm assuming that... Okay, so he's played out the Shambling Vent, so what we're going to do here is Cruel Revival you. Bring back Diregraf Colossus, thank you very much. What's he going to do? Okay, he's got Calculated Dismissal. Wasn't expecting that. So at least Obnixilis is still going to die this turn, which is the main thing. He did have to Calculate Dismissal our Cruel Revival, but it's not the end of the world. So Obnixilis does still die. Yeah, basically had to tap down the Shambling Vent to play the Calculated Dismissal, so it would have been nice to have brought back our Diregraf Colossus, but it's not the end of the world. It's not necessarily important to our overall strategy. We've still got plenty of zombies down here. See what he does. So he's played out nothing this turn, so we know he's probably got the Shambling Vent to come. Ooh, Nantuko Husk, very nice. We'll probably play out that this turn. I was thinking about, so we're going to swing with all 4 of these bad boys. There we go. Might give one of these Death Touch if he uses Shambling Vent, which looks like he's going to do so. So whichever, oh no, we don't want to give away which one we're going to give Death Touch first. We want to allow him to block it first. Okay, there we go. So we're going to give you Death Touch, so we're going to kill his mana. And then we're going to play out Nantuko Husk. What else has he got? Complete Disregard. So he's going to exile target creature. That's still going to activate. It still triggers, mate. It still gets Death Touch. So your Shambling Vent does die. There we go. And then we're just going to play out Nantuko Husk. Luckily, we do have another Drownau Corpse Trawler in hand for that Death Touchy goodness later on. So yeah, luckily we've managed to send that Shambling Vent to the graveyard. What else has he got? He's got Jace, so, you know, don't really care too much for Jace at this point. What can it do? Scry 1 and draw a card, return target creature to its owner's hand, so it's about the most he can do. And he's obviously conceded, realises he can't win here, so we're just going to leave the game and move on to game number 2. Okay guys, here we are for game number 2. So that was a very long name, I'll read out who it was in a second. Managed to complete a quest on... basically was put 15 tokens onto the battlefield, so pretty good with this deck is the fact that you generate tokens very easily. So 120 gold for basically playing this deck was quite nice. Yeah, I don't think what that guy realised in the last game, that to have exiled my Drunau corpse trawler before its ability activated, he would have had to exile it before it even triggered it. Because it already gone on the stack, even though he had exiled it, it basically resolved anyway. So basically like him rage quitting after that. Okay, I think we'll go for the second Submerged Boneyard here. So yeah, we're playing True Roman 007. I'm sure we've played this guy before, but yeah, we do have the Nantuko Husk, we've got Crow of Dark Tidings, we've got some removal, we've got Gisa's Blessing as well. Okay, we've got Kythian, so we potentially just want to Reave Soul him this turn. Thraben Gargoyle, not too bothered by. So yeah, we probably want to get rid of Kythian now while he's got the ability to. Oh, or we could do Stitched Mangler this turn. Tap him down, and then Reave Soul him next turn. That works for me. Because at least it develops our board that way. We get something we can actually do. So this Thraben Gargoyle is a 2/2 defender, and with 6 mana you can transform it into a 4/2 with flying. So he's not getting up to 6 mana anytime soon, I suspect. So at the moment he can't actually regenerate Kythian. I'm just wondering if he's going to... Is he going to play out anything? Excellent, that's what I want to see. So I can potentially Reave Soul Kythian, or I'm going to Reave Soul the Blessed Spirits, as that is going to be able to swing above my head. So... Or... Yeah, I'm going to Reave Soul you. And then swing with our... what's the word I'm looking for? Stitched Mangler, that's what I'm looking for. So one more mana we can get Gisa's Blessing down, so just basically generate some tokens. Don't know when I want to get things down. Maybe you want to get a Crow of Dark Tidings down just so we can start swinging it in the air. Yeah, I could do some way of getting rid of Kythian. I mean, like, if he hadn't played out that Blessed Spirits, I would have, like, destroyed it. But unfortunately, you know, I think the flying creature was probably the more important of the two. And he's played out an Accursed Spirit. Okay, so something that I can't block. Can't blocked by artifact creatures, and okay, no, I can actually block it because I've got black creatures down, haven't I? So what do we play out here? Do we play out Fleshbag? Isn't that useful, so I'm thinking just Crow of Dark Tidings here, and then not blocking, and then not swinging. Oh no, managed to put Kalitas into my graveyard. Never mind. We're just gonna skip attack here, as you can block it with the Accursed Spirit. Yeah, that's one of our lords, but unfortunately he has made it into our graveyard. Is he going to swing? I'm assuming he will with Kythian, because he can at least regenerate that. No, he's decided not to swing. Okay, interesting. And he's going to play out Blightcaster. Okay, interesting. Yeah, I'm tempted to put like some languishes in this deck, just because it's a lot easier for us to like restart almost. So, do I play out Gisa's Blessing, or do I play out Nantuko Husk? I'm thinking Gisa's Blessing, because that way we've then got fodder for the Fleshbag Marauder at least next turn. So, I'm going to swing with my Crow of Dark Tidings in the air, push through another 2 points of damage. I mean, one more mana, we've got Under the Floorboards coming down. So, yeah, we'll play out the Gisa's Blessing here, get two zombies, which can block the Accursed Spirit. Yeah, I'm just going to provide fodder for my Nantuko Husk here. Almost would like a Diregraf. No, Diregraf Colossus isn't that useful right now, as I actually have no zombies in my graveyard. So, apart from its token generation, it wouldn't be that useful. Okay, so he's got a Nimbus Wings here. What's he going to put it on? So he's going to be able to give something -2/-2, one of my zombie tokens. So what does it do? It gives you have target creature getting +2/-2 until end of turn. Okay, so he's just swinging with everything here. So you're going to transform, and you're going to transform, unfortunately. So he's going to regenerate it, but it's not going to matter. Well, he won't push through the damage. So Kythian is going to transform here. into a 3. So so he's then going to untap you. I could really do with some way of, like, I could do with one of my other Reave Souls here, would be nice, because that way I could then Fleshbag Marauder, and then unfortunately that is not the case. So what do we do here then? We've got 4 mana. It's either double Shambling Ghoul or Nantuko Husk. What's the best play here? I mean, we're going to be facing Gideon coming across with us with a Blightcaster potentially. So, just wondering what we do here. I think maybe double Shambling Ghoul is probably the best play, and then just don't swing. I mean, Nantuko Husk could have worked as well. The problem with Gideon is that he does actually get indestructible, so it's not as though we can do anything about that anyway. I could do with, like I said, some kind of removal. So I've got 4 lots of removal left, so we've got basically like a 1 in 10 chance of finding something which can deal with this Blightcaster. Reave Soul would even work on that if I found another Reave Soul, so we're going to skip attack here. Don't know why Gideon didn't... Yeah, we need some kind of removal to get rid of the Blightcaster. As soon as we've got rid of that, I would feel very, very confident. So he's going to untap. That's why he's saving Gideon for. He's going to untap it and then make it indestructible, so I can't swing. We say, for example, my Crow of Dark Tidings. So he's going to give that flying. Does that just transform it in general? It does. Okay, that's suddenly become a whole bigger problem. So we do kind of need to Fleshbag Marauder at least one of them, I think. So he's got to sacrifice at least one of them, basically. Skip attack. So I'm going to sacrifice my... I feel as though my Crow of Dark Tidings isn't really doing much, as it is. So we're going to toss you away. We're going to find... Oh, come on! There goes my Cruel Revival. That was a mistake. Well, I wouldn't have found it for 2 turns anyway, I don't think, because Nantuko Husk went first, then Cruel Revival, so... At least we've got a decent amount of power on the board, so we can potentially outpace him if he keeps swinging with the Blightcaster. So he's going to swing for 3. He's going to untap, but then we're going to swing for 3. Okay, no, he's also got a Blood-Cursed Knight. And a Nimbus Wings. Oh, great, fantastic. So that's going to get Nimbus Wings. And my Fleshbag Marauder is going to get plus 2, -2. So yeah, we're in a little bit of a problem here now. Well, we've probably lost at this point, as we've got 2 unblockable creatures in the air, and we've got no way of removing them. So yeah, this is it's like a black-white enchantment deck basically, and it's worked pretty well, I must admit. So I think that. So that he has to attack into Gideon next turn, so unless we've got some way of removing you, which we do not, I think we're dead, so yeah. I mean, I could play under the floorboards, give us a little bit of extra time, but I don't think we're... So he has to attack Gideon, so... Just keep swinging it. We'll swing for 4 at his face, maybe play it under the floorboards, see what we get. So he's going to block the 2/3 Shambling Ghoul, which has lifelink. So yeah, I don't think we can win at this point. So I'd need like 2 lots of removal to get rid of these. I need to basically, for the next 2 turns, draw into Reave Soul followed by Cruel Revival, and we've already lost one of the Cruel Revivals and only got one of them left. So the chances of actually getting both of those cards in the next 2 turns is pretty remote. Yeah, we're down at 4 health here. We're not looking particularly fantastic. And all we find is Rancid Rats. So I think that's game over, as we can't essentially like block these 2 next turns. So yeah, we're just going to leave it here. So unfortunately that is a loss for game number 2, but it was just a very good play from our opponent. So we've got some packs to open. I've only 3 unfortunately, as I didn't win that match. So let's open them up. We're getting through Oath of the Gatewatch quite quickly. So as I'm as I've increased the gold rewards and all that jazz, so what have we got? Dimensional Infiltrator, Flash Flying, target opponent exiles a top card of his or her library. If it's a land card, you may return Dimensional Infiltrator to its owner's hand. Pretty cool. Step Glider, 2/4 fly with flying and vigilance. Flare Drone, red black Eldrazi with first strike. Whenever another colourless creature enters the battlefield under your control, target opponent loses 1 life. It's quite nice. Kozilek's Translator, I think we've seen before. Coon Flameseeker, we've definitely seen before. And Saddleback Lagak, 4 mana, when it enters the battlefield, support 2. It's not too bad. What else have we got? We got Mina and Den Wildborn. Okay, never seen this before. You may play an additional land on each of your turn. Return a land you control to its owner's hand. Target creature gains trample until end of turn. It's not bad for like a red-green deck. Got Weapons Trainer, so like for equipment decks. Seed Guardian we've seen before. Dazzling Reflection we've seen before. Oblivion Strike we've definitely seen before. Witness the End. Target opponent exiles 2 cards from his or her hand and loses 2 life. It's not bad. So we just grab one more pack as we don't quite have the gold to buy a 4th day, unfortunately, because we lost that second game. So let's just open this booster, see what we find. So we've got Slip Through Space. Target creature can't be blocked this turn. Baloth Pup. It has trample as long as it has a +1/+1 counter on it. It's not bad. Ancient Crab is a 1/5 3 mana. Okay, interesting. Zarda's Commando is an ally with first strike, and you can also tap an untapped ally you control. Zarda's Commando deals 1 damage to target opponent. It's not too bad. Press and Service, support 2, gain control of target creature until end of turn. Untap that creature and get. That's actually a really nice card for Sakdos. That'd make a really nice updated Sakdos card, actually. And that's it for now. So we're over a third of the way through Oath of the Gatewatch. So I've got the weekend coming up, so I'm hopefully going to have time to just grind out a load of gold this weekend. Maybe get something like, I don't know, 1,500 gold I might be able to unlock by the end of the weekend, which should be pretty sweet. So we'll see how that goes, but I'll leave it here for now. As always, guys, don't forget to comment and like if you enjoyed the episode, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.